Good morning and welcome to Emerson Institute at City of Light. I'm Reverend Dr. Paul Gratz, and I'm inviting you to join us for the class on the power of positive energy. This is session number 6. We're going to dig into some wonderful truths about how this power affects our lives today. I'd like to welcome all of you who are joining us through our live streaming program on Facebook, as well as our YouTube channel, City of Light Atlanta. You can find us at either one of those places in the future. Also, we'd like to welcome all of our students who are joining us in presence here and live in person here in the Dr. Angelo Pizzello Wisdom Center here at the 3rd floor of City of Light. Well, let's prepare for today's session, and let's do so by just doing a simple breathing exercise. We're going to breathe in and hold for a moment that wonderful air that we just breathed in, and then release it out, and releasing it out with a sense of letting go of all stress, and just bring yourself into an awareness of this presence, this now, this moment. Let's do it together. Breathe in with me. Breathe in and release. Deep breath in and release. Deep breath in and release. And in this moment of silence, let's set our intention of that which we desire to transpire in our life during this time that we share together. Just whisper within, this is my desire. This is my intention. And so it is. All right, let's dig into class number 6. I've opened up with some positive vibration tips in your note packet. Now, if you've not received a note packet, please let me know. Reach out to me at revtpaul@aol.com, and we'll see that the Cliff Notes are sent out to you prior to every class session. Today's Cliff Notes may have come out just about 5 minutes ago for you, so make sure you check your email. If you've not had a chance to pick them up just yet, they're there waiting for you. So we encourage you to print them out and then follow along, because these are some wonderful tips and highlights, and then it gives you a great tool to just kind of pencil or write along any kind of thoughts that have been inspirational to you. And at the close of our class, we'd love to hear from you as to what your takeaway is from this session. So maybe you want to highlight a special thought or note on your note packet that really spoke to you, because we'd love to hear from you as well. So let's dig in. In these positive vibration tips I'm sharing with you are that often we think we can change our world by the thoughts we change begins within. And you create this change within as you create this vibration or this frequency within you, and the universe responds to it. So you are the co-creator. What we want to understand is, what's the vibrational level that we are creating within? That vibrational level of thought and emotion, that vibrational level of the love, the joy, the peace. That's the vibrational level at which that the universe is going to respond at that level to you as you create your reality. Now, how badly do you really want to feel good? That's a big question to us. How badly do you want to feel this wonderful vibration? Well, then make the effort to be in vibration with the all good every single day. It's really important that we're making this effort to say, I want to raise my vibrational frequency. You know how easy it is to let the world lower and bring you down? From a sense of love and peace and compassion to a sense of anger and negativity. It's so easy because we're so often not guarding our vibrational frequency enough. And so what happens? We allow it to just drag us down. So we want to make sure that we are really making the effort to keep that vibrational frequency high. How good or how badly do you want to feel good? Well, when you say, I want that, I really want that, then we're going to make this effort to be conscious about thinking thoughts of love and grace and allowing that feeling of compassion and forgiveness and thankfulness and gratitude and abundance to just resonate within us to help raise that vibrational frequency within us. Now, you feeling like not feeling like things are really working out for you in life? and you're not really feeling like you're embracing this high vibrational success in your journey, well, I want to remind you that some things you're not letting happen right now because the timing isn't right for you. So please note that all things are working together in the right time. But just know that sometimes we become impatient because we want something to manifest for us right now, and we're not feeling like everything's falling into order the way we think it should. But please remember, everything's falling together in the right, perfect time. Some of you are not letting it happen because you're not aware of where you are. And where you are is in the presence of all good. And where you are is in the presence of abundance. And where you are is in the presence of blessing. So you're not really very aware of where you are. You are aware maybe of thinking I am where I am is lack and is a sense of not having, or I'm without. So you may be thinking that that's where you are, but where you really are is that all things are working together for good. So just hold that thought in mind, because our impatience is that which is forcing off the very divine flow of that perfect timing all coming together for us in our life. So please know that all things are happening, and they're happening in perfect order right now. So whatever it is that you're desiring, it's coming to you and it's happening in perfect order. And if you'll just relax and allow, well, do so by saying everything is in its perfect time. Everything is unfolding, and I'm enjoying where I am now in this relationship, in relationship to where I'm going. So I'm enjoying where I am now in relationship to where I'm going. I am in this wonderful state, and I love this, so I put a little box around it in our note packet here. Now, this is the perfect vibrational stance. Content where I am and eager for more. So content where I am, I'm very content, but I'm eager for more. And so that's the perfect vibrational stance that keeps us in this realm of knowing that all things are working together for good, and they're all unfolding in this perfect time. And you're part of that perfect time right now. And you might say, wait, I want my manifestation right now. I want to receive everything right now. I want it, I need it, I must have it right now. And that demanding impatience doesn't realize that everything is unfolding, and the unfolding is this wonderful process that we're in. That everything is part of this incredible process, this incredible journey. So often we are all so focused on the destination, and we forget life is this journey. So the joy of this manifestation unfolding can be found also in the journey of the unfolding, of knowing it's coming, it's unfolding for me, it's manifesting for me. I know it will be there in the right perfect time. And wait a minute, do you want something that's not in the right and perfect time? It's like, would you want something and it's not the right timing for it? It's like you're praying for a ride to work, and the ride to work comes, but you weren't ready and you weren't prepared, and you're not even dressed, and the ride to work has come and it's gone by. You say that would be an example of something that's not in the right and perfect time. But how about you just relax and say, I'm ready, I've got my clothes on, I'm all dressed, I got my hair done, or whatever it may be that I need to do for the day to get ready to go to work, and now the ride arrives for me. So we want everything to fall in place in the right perfect time anyway, and that's when we can experience it to the highest and best. So let's just relax, and let's just be content where you are, but eager for more. And that's the perfect vibrational stance. Now, I want to remind you that the very core of the universe that we live in is pure, unconditional love. Wow. Think about this. This universe that we live in is just unconditional love. It's loving energy that's supporting us and guiding us and always protecting us. So in your note packet, I've got this little burst of hearts that just simply says, are you ready for some love power? Because it's ready for you. You're surrounded by this love power, this wonderful universe that is ever wanting to support you and guide you and protect you. Now, this may be kind of a strange thought for so many. Because we kind of think that we have a God that's withholding, and we have to negotiate, we have to beg, we have to plead, we have to please in some way that maybe then God would support or guide or protect us. And if we've been a good boy or a good girl and we behaved right and we've done the right things and we've followed all the rules, and then suddenly we know, okay, God, I'm a good person. Now will you bless me? Will you support me? Will you do all these things? We lose sight of the fact that this universe is this unconditional love, and that love is already desiring the highest and best in your life, eager to bestow it in your life. So we have to shift our thinking from something that says, well, wait a minute, I need to align myself in some way of begging and pleading. You just align yourself in the way of receiving. Because the generosity of God, the generosity of this universe is ever flowing out for us. And it is some love power. That's right. It's some love power that wants to flood your life. This power that is a presence, this power that is so enabling you to achieve your highest and best, it's ready for you when we are ready for it. So learn to tap into the energy of the universe by following some of the signs that are given to you. I want to really encourage you to be aware that the universe is ever speaking to you. There are a multiplicity of ways that the universe is speaking to you on a day-to-day basis. Today I posted on Facebook encouraging everyone to recognize that we can learn something from everyone. So it would be wonderful if you just stopped and took an inventory of your day and said, name 3 things that I learned from my encounter with others today. What did I learn? Well, in my posting, I made a typo on the graphic, and it went out, and Steve was so kind as to say, wait a minute, there's already a typo on this. And, so I already learned, hey, I can correct my mistakes when I'm aware of them. And what a wonderful spiritual truth that is. If we're missing the mark, once we become aware that we're missing the mark, we can correct it. And what a beautiful lesson it is. And it's not a difficult experience to correct. It's not really a difficult experience at all. We just have to be willing to say, I can realign, I can correct, I can learn from this mistake. So if we took an inventory at the end of the day and said, what have we learned from the experiences and the encounters with others? Because the universe may be using the people around you to help bring awareness of some message, some clue, some guidance, some level of support that it's trying to offer you. So why do we seemingly feel that bad things are happening to some people? We kind of look out and say, well, if the universe is all this love power and it's out there ready to guide us and ready to support us and ready to just love and nurture us, it all sounds great, but why then are there some bad things happening to some people? It's because of their vibrational frequency, and that's based on our thoughts and our feelings. And these thoughts and these feelings are creating our reality. So the universe doesn't cause suffering. It's our thoughts and our feelings that do this. So when we get into that negative zone, poor me, pity me, I'm without, I'm separated from God and God's goodness, all those kind of thoughts, then they're creating your reality that's what you believe. Well, that's what you receive. And that's what's actually unfolding for you. So if you wonder why there's some challenges going on in your life, it may be, what are the thoughts and what are the feelings that you're expressing? Now, we can also look at, say, are there some signs of things that are happening within our life? They're trying to teach us something. What might be an experience that we're having that might want to teach us something? So maybe, for instance, you had a flat tire. What is it teaching? Maybe we need to slow down. There's all kinds of lessons that are being out there in life that speaking just relax. Everything happens together in right time. Slow down, be careful. All these wonderful things. The universe is constantly looking out for us with great compassion. So let's just be thinking, what are our thoughts and what are our feelings? Because they're creating our reality. And if we're wondering why some people are experiencing some difficult times, we might look at their thoughts and their feelings about what's going on in their life and how they're expressing it all in the universe. So I want to encourage you to see your life as a perfect sequence of events that's always unfolding in the way that it's meant to unfold. So you're like, wow, really? Everything is unfolding in a perfect sequence? Stop and see how the timing of events that unfolded were actually perfect. My partner Robert was dealing with cancer and had been given the word that he only had so many months to live. During that time, as he got weaker and weaker, I was praying and asking others to join me in praying for a beautiful, peaceful transition in the right and perfect time. Now, sometimes there were days when I was thinking, oh, would he pass today? And so the hospice nurse would come by and she would say, he'll pass in 48 hours. It was February and he hadn't passed. And then there's, he'll pass this week for sure. And just we're watching for all the signs of his transition from this world into eternity. And he didn't pass. And late February was coming. Oh, he'll pass. Your birthday's March the 5th. He'll probably pass on your birthday. And my birthday came and he didn't pass. And there was this thinking, well, what's the right and perfect time? He passed away on March the 16th. And in numerology, 1 and 6 are the number of 7. You add them together. 7 is the number of perfection. He passed away at 1:46. The 4, the 6, and the 1 equal the number 11, which is the master number of perfection and all good. He passed away at the right and perfect time. Now, isn't that what we prayed for? Isn't that what we believed for? Could it be any more an amazing revelation of the divine manifesting exactly what we believe for, believing for the right and perfect time? And here it is. So when we just relax and we realize that everything is unfolding as it's meant to be, and how strange it might have been had he passed a day or so sooner or a different time. And then we might look to say, wow, was that the right time for him to pass? Was that the perfect time for him to pass? I don't know. It may not have seemed correct. But this was just a beautiful message that said, yes, as you prayed, as you believed, everything has fallen in together in this beautiful manifestation. So I want to encourage you to begin by identifying your conscious and your unconscious thoughts. So we have to think about what these conscious and unconscious thoughts may be that are barriers to this wonderful vibrational frequency or level that we want to achieve that just allows things to flow in a beautiful manner within our lives. So here's a little exercise. Begin to write out your thoughts on a day-to-day basis. And just like, what have you been thinking? And I think it's a wonderful exercise if you just take some time out with a blank sheet of paper and just begin to write, just random. What are these thoughts? What are thoughts are flowing from you? And then allow the deepest thoughts to be revealed within you as well. Allow the deepest thoughts to just unfold as you write them down and see what's repeated over and over again. Is there some thought that keeps being repeated? And I want to encourage you to, just begin to spit out thoughts, shall we say. Just let them go. Just let them flow out of you. Don't be like, oh, I want to have a pretty thought, or I want to have a beautiful thought, but just let the thoughts that are rising up to you be expressed. Maybe on your laptop, just start typing away. Whatever it is, if you can't think of it, start just with some gibberish and you'll get there. It'll start unfolding for you. All right, we got a comment coming in.
They call that stream of consciousness.
A stream of consciousness, yes. Beautiful comment. Yes, we want to find what is your stream of consciousness, what thoughts are going through your mind on a day-to-day basis. And they may be some clues to you like, wow, I didn't realize how many thoughts are about I don't have. Or thoughts that say, I need, without realizing it's already there. Or thoughts that say, I feel lonely and separated from God and others. Or I feel fearful about experiences and what's happening in my life. Because these are going to be some key clues to your life as to what you're attracting and what you're not able to attract. When it comes to saving others from suffering, oh my Lord, don't we want to be Superman, Wonder Woman, etc., and save the world? We want to save everyone from any kind of suffering that's going on in their life. And certainly we want to do it as parents for our children, don't we? We'd love to save them from any kind of suffering, but I want to remind you, it is not your job to save people. Woo! Now that's a big challenge for me in the field of ministry, in my evangelical fundamentalist background. It was always, you're here to save souls. You're here to do the work of saving everybody. And you realize, wait a minute, I can't save you. I can't do it for you. I can't do anything for you. I can facilitate, but you have to make your own choices in life. So please remember that when we want to try to save people, sometimes that means I want to make the choices for you. I want to decide for you what you should do or what you shouldn't do. But remember, in that process, what you're doing is hindering the natural unfolding of what needs to happen within their life in the right and perfect time. So here again, it's not our job to save people. It's not our job to decide for others. It's our job to be the light, yes. To be the witness, yes. To be those that can create an environment for people to make good choices. But remember, everyone has to make their own choices. We can't make them for them, no matter how badly we would like to do that. So the key are with those who are suffering, simply be a loving presence and be one there to listen. Because as you present this loving presence of a listening heart, a listening ear, you actually can facilitate that person processing and working through to their own choices and to their own solutions. As a pastor in counseling, people may come and say, Pastor, I want to sit with you for an hour for counseling. And I say, great. So tell me how you're feeling. May begin the experience about whatever the issue may be. And as they begin to start telling, you know what they're doing? They're processing. They're evolving. They are helping to make their own choices because they know already the solution. It's really there within them. It just needs to have a process to bring it out. So I'm there just to be that listening ear. And so often we think, while we're listening, I've got to come up with some wonderful insight. I've got to come up with some wonderful 3 steps as to how to resolve this problem. I've got to do all this stuff. I've got to find some way for you. And sometimes we're so busy coming up with some great response and solution, we're not really listening and just being present and just being a presence for that person, for them to do the choosing, for them to work through the process. I can't tell you enough how important this is because it is that beautiful illustration that's so clear and so poignant for us of the caterpillar in the cocoon, and how beautiful it is that we'd like to help that caterpillar. We'd like to rip open that cocoon for them and help them in that process of becoming the butterfly. But it is the work that the caterpillar must do of stretching and pushing against the cocoon and breaking through it on its own that gives it its strength to be able to be a butterfly that can fly. If we break the cocoon and we do it for them, they're never really able to soar, to take off, and to fly. So please remember this. The best thing we can do is to be a loving presence, a supportive presence, and allowing that person who's suffering or going through lots of challenges in their life to simply work through their process. Let them work through their process. I know as parents, I have a dear friend who is such a loving parent and just says, I want to do everything for my child. I'm going to take care of them. I'm going to make their bed for them. I'm going to clean their room for them. I'm going to cook for them. I'm going to do their laundry for them. I'm going to do their homework for them. I'm like, just because I'm this wonderful parent who loves my child so much. And in the end, that child living that life doesn't know how to make the bed, doesn't know how to clean their room, doesn't know how to do laundry, doesn't know how to cook for themselves. And behold, they're going off to college and they're like, gee, I have no life skills whatsoever. How can I soar? How can I fly? How can I? Well, because we didn't allow them evolutionary process. So I want to encourage you to get ready, listen to that, to attract what you desire. And the key word is to attract, so we must prepare. We've got to begin by using our thoughts and our intentions to create the reality that we want, to attract the reality that we want. So getting ready begins by doing some simple exercises of visualization. What is you like? What do you want? What kind of world do you want to create? What does it look like? Now, the visual component is really important to us because the visual conveys an idea for us. So just remember that, how important it is that the visual is just simply creating the idea. But more importantly is, with the visual, is how do you feel about that what you're visualizing? How do you feel what you see in your mind's eyes? So it's really important. Don't forget to ask the universe to send you an event or an experience or a person or thing that you desire. So don't forget to ask. And in that asking, of course, it's that wonderful process of not begging and pleading, but to begin to the ask is, this I visualize, this I hold in mind. And now I thank the universe for delivering this or something better. So when we're looking at the this or something better, remember, then we're not attaching to the visual specifically, right? Because there could be something better. But what we're really attaching is the feeling that we so desire. And I can't emphasize this enough. How important it is that we're talking about what is the feeling? Because again, we need to really look at this clearly about when we're setting this intention, what is it that we really want? Sometimes we don't know what we want to create, so our experiences, are kind of cloudy because we don't really know what's the best for us in some things. And so here's an example. You may think you want $1 million, but really what you want is security. So the feeling of security is more important than the visualization of the $1 million. But the $1 million may symbolize security for you. So it is that visualization that helps you create the feeling. You think about the $1 million and what is the feeling you get when you've got this $1 million? Now, for some people, like, oh, the feeling might be a panic. I don't know what to do with all this money. And I don't know. I'm afraid I'll lose it all. Or I'm afraid of what. So is that really creating the security that you want? So let's go to the feeling that you really want. You may think you really want that new car, but really what you're struggling with is, I need some status. I want people to think something fabulous about me. And that new car may not do that if that's really what you're wanting to manifest in your life. So you really have to think about, how clear am I with my intention? So the intention is more than I want this thing or this material thing or that material thing, but this is the feeling I want. And it may be visualized or encapsulated in this visualization of this person or this thing or this car or whatever it may be that you're visualizing. So I really think vision boards are fantastic as long as you're not allowing it to say, I've got to have that red car. It's got to be red or it's not going to be perfect for me. I've got to have this. Or are we really visualizing something that is more, I need a car that provides great transportation, that I feel prosperous and successful when I'm driving, that I feel secure and safe in, or that I can share with others and there's plenty of room to give others a ride, or whatever it may be that is the true feeling that you want. Go to the feeling. Let the visualization stimulate the feeling, and let that be as you're setting your intention. So setting this intention is really expressing a request or a desire and saying, this is what I plan on experiencing, but you're really expressing, I'm planning on experiencing this feeling. Because remember, material things can come and go, and you may not be that happy with some material possession that came to you, because what you really wanted was a feeling, and what you got and giving you that feeling, like, okay, I really screwed up here. I manifested something that isn't really making me feel secure or comfortable or loved or at peace, So it's like the illustration of someone saying, I want to marry that man. That's the man I'm going to marry. And is it that man? Or is the feeling of marriage, which is commitment and love, that's what you want? So center your intentions about the feeling of what you want. And that's where we become very specific. I know a lot of teachers teach, be so specific with your intentions, and I agree. And there are a lot of teachers that, what happens in vagueness stays in vagueness, that wonderful quote. So they're really saying make sure you're very clear. And what we're really clear then is about the emotional feeling that we want to experience, and allowing that to come in different shapes and forms to be manifested within your life. So keep your intentions in the realm of feeling what you desire, and let the material outcome be manifested by the universe, which knows what is best for you. So that's why we may look at this visual on our visual board and say this or something better. And something better may look a little bit differently, but the this that we're visualizing is helping us to invoke a feeling, to capture a feeling. Does that make sense? Everyone got on that one? That's really important. Now, are you ready? Because here's the next thing. Trust the universe. That's right. Trust the universe. Trust the universe to bring about the best outcome. This is the problem. We're like, well, wait a minute. I think I know what's best. I think I know what's best for me. And it's that person or that car or that house. And wait a minute. The universe actually is all-knowing. Are you all-knowing? So, there's a lot of things that we know, but there's a lot of things that we don't know that we know. And we don't really feel like we're all-knowing. And we haven't really come to that place of feeling that we're completely full of infinite wisdom, as the universe is. So let's allow the universe to help make those choices that are best for us. And let's just simply trust. Trust that everything is all falling together in divine, perfect order. And please know that there are notes on what you can ask the universe for guidance on. Some people have come to me and said, is it okay if I ask God about this? Is it okay if I ask God to direct me in this or that or whatever it may be? Because I don't know, is that really what God would want for me or God would want in my life? I had a lady come to me and she was saying, is it okay I ask for direction on my intimacy with my husband? Because it's about sex and maybe God doesn't want me to talk about sex. I'm like, oh, honey, God gave you sex. We can say the word sex. And that intimacy is there. And you can ask for guidance about how to create that intimacy in a greater way. Really? I could talk to God about that? The nasty, the dirty? Oh, honey, it's not the nasty and the dirty. It's the beautiful and the wonderful. So let's change our visualization about this whole experience. And let's allow us the freedom to say, I can ask God about anything for guidance in my life. So now get ready then, after you asked for this guidance, ready to watch for the subtle and soft or in your face signs that are going to be right there for you. Sometimes we ignore these things that are screaming right at us in the face, and we're just not so oblivious to it that it's been calling out. And other times we're looking for this soft and subtle, and we're like, I can't hear the soft and subtle because we're not ready to watch for the signs that God is giving to us, because the universe is ever speaking. Yesterday, I was out on my patio and I was having a conversation with one of my fellow ministers. We chat every week and we can do some peer support and encouragement, The topic of conversation had led to oh, God, we're just seeking universes to wisdom in the universe as to know what to do. And there was, just looking for this guidance, what do we do next in the midst of this pandemic? How do we reach out and touch the world when so many people are afraid to even come out to church or workshops or classes? And we're trying to reach them and share all this insight to help them through this pandemic. Give us wisdom. And as I was talking, I said, wait, you're not going to believe this, but I think I'm surrounded by 60 to 80 black birds. These crows have just ascended on my yard and they're just all over. They're in my fountain. They're on the pathways. They're in the trees. They're in the bush. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. And he said, do you understand that Crows are a sign of wisdom, wisdom coming to you. Ooh, okay. That's an ancient sign, an ancient symbol that blackbirds or crows were the sign of great wisdom coming to us. That the old Celtic symbols and many people through time in various different traditions, that when blackbirds ascend, it's an awareness of wisdom. I'm like, okay, I need to be aware. Wisdom is there. It's unfolding for us. And the universe is trying to say, it's there, just relax. You'll know what to do. You'll know exactly what the next step is. Don't fret it and don't push it away by saying it's not here, and I need it. Start saying, the wisdom is mine. It's already here. Divine providence is already folding. Lethe, what's your comment?
I'm just thinking that, yes, throughout the day, various things happen, and I try to stay focused. But I think when I try to interpret something that happened, I'm saying, is this how it is? Or how do I know? How do I know to interpret things? For instance, I'm coming here, I'm wonderful, I'm in a good mood, and bam, my windshield got busted by a car. Is that a truck passing by just now? How do I interpret it? I'm focused, I'm paying attention. I don't know how to read into that.
Right.
Or you're telling us to stay focused and pay attention to our thinking and so on, but
So I don't know what your current thoughts may have been or what's going on within your life, but there's many things that something like that can be symbolic for us. One is that, when challenges come, you can be an overcomer. And that's a powerful lesson that sometimes we may need to know in life, is that when something happens like this, we're just exude the all good and the peace. Don't let it throw you off your game, disrupt you or make you, but just know that everything's going to work out and that you can overcome every challenge.
I think in my case this morning, I just said to myself, you know what, the worst is behind me.
There you go.
I just decided to dismiss it. It will be fixed. The worst is behind me.
Right.
And move on.
So then it's a wonderful lesson for you to learn, that you may hold on to that lesson, that when something else comes your way, remember the words you said, the worst is behind me.
Yeah.
Remember the worst is behind me. So the universe may be speaking that to say, now get ready. If some other greater challenge is coming your way, just know that you're an overcomer. And yes, things may happen in life, but you can have that fixed. That can be overcome, and that can be corrected, or whatever it may be. Dr. David Carter, your comment.
So then there's no random happenings. Nothing happens randomly. We call it into our experience for a reason.
Right, exactly. Because let's look at some of these examples of how there are signs for us, or the universe is speaking to us, and one is a random encounter. You just brought that up. So we might look at this random encounter with someone or some experience, and you go, oh, well, that was kind of crazy. How did that? Was the universe speaking to me? Oh, yes. How about seeing repeated number sequences that are kind of telling you something, that's always speaking to you through these the sequences of numbers? Okay, Dr. David Carter.
We'll go back to the first one again, because like Lethe, I was on my way to Maryland to see the bald eagles. I was excited, really pumped up. And one of those big dump trucks came by, a rock fell off it, of course, and and it cracked my windshield when it hit it. Okay, so that was the first one. Okay, on my way coming back to Georgia from seeing the bald eagles, another dump truck. A rock came out, and then this crack was at a higher point. So I called both of those situations into my experience for...
Well, there can be some simple signs where the universe, what might you have been dealing with in your life? Driving to see the eagles and a joyous experience. But there might be something the universe is trying to teach us in life that maybe, is it caution? Is it, that slow down? Is it, I don't know, because I'm not in your life, so I can't really say. But if you stop and think about this experience, you will understand when we pause and reflect upon it, like, what's going on in my life that this might relate to, that it's being repeated over and over again, and that I'm having this experience 2 times, that some sort of rock is coming into my visual, into my experience. And what am I going to do with that rock that's cracking and shattering my visual? Is there some experience that's coming to my life of a sickness or a challenge with family or my children, or something that keeps repeating itself, that's blocking my vision of how to love them the best? You know, I mean, I don't know. It's like I don't know your life. So you just have to examine and say, wait a minute, what might these things be saying to me by these experiences? What might be the deeper metaphor of life? Because life often speaks through symbolic ways, and speaks and teaches us through the metaphors that we go through in life. So, a powerful metaphor for me in life was that experience when I did an underwater sea walk in the Caribbean, in St. Thomas. And I was joining a group from our church that were on this cruise together, and we were going to go down on the sea floor and follow along with a chain and walk along this pathway on the ocean floor and see all these beautiful starfish and fish going by, and it sounded like a great adventure. The challenge was, for me, you had to put on this big, heavy helmet kind of thing on with a hose running, that oxygen was pouring into this helmet for you so you could walk freely on the ocean floor. And I climbed down the ladder, I'm on the ocean floor, and I'm walking along and thinking, okay, I can do this. This is kind of cool. And then I reached up inside and rubbed my nose. And suddenly I realized I'm trapped inside this helmet. And all I could see was the closeness of the glass right around me, and I began to just feel claustrophobic, and I was suffering, but I'm trapped in here, and I can't, how am I going to get out? And feeling like, oh my God, the whole ocean is closing in on me because I'm just trapped inside this container, and I felt claustrophobic, and I walked back quickly and climbed up the ladder and got out and took the helmet off, and and the coordinator of the tour said, you can go down one more time, and that's it. So you better get your head together on this one. And she said, look through the glass. Oh, when I went down the next time, my eyes weren't at this. My eyes were looking through the glass to the greater horizon ahead of me. And in life, sometimes we're so caught up with this experience right there in front of our face that we can't look through it. Such a big teaching lesson for me in life that the universe was speaking to me. But just remember this. Don't get panicky about what's happening in this moment. Look through it, because there's something even more and greater. And I'm like, oh, I have cherished that lesson that the universe taught me in so mmany ways in my life, even in my partner's passing most recently. And the sense of loss, where you're looking and feeling claustrophobic and feeling like, oh, this is the end of any kind of loving relationships in your life, and the end of something, you're panicking and feeling claustrophobic by the whole experience of his transition. And then, oh, that's right. Look through the glass. There's something more ahead for you out there. And there's something more to be experienced in there. And everything, there's plenty of all that you need. It's right here for you. There's oxygen pouring in. It's everything you need is right here. You just got to keep looking out, not at the glass, but through the glass. So let me tell you this. That's why the universe's experience is speaking to us in so many beautiful ways. Think about, are there disruptions or cancellations of your plans that may have then said, the universe has been speaking to you? Wow. How many times have we heard the stories of those who were planning to board the plane on 9/11, and those planes that were hijacked and went into the World Trade Center towers? And something spoke to them. There was a cancellation of their plans, and they were like, oh, wow, how did that? My life was spared because of some inconvenience, some cancellation, or some disruption. Lethe, your comment.
So when these things happen, and we're trying to find out what does this mean, I suppose we could ask the universe to show you what it means. right?
Right. Oh, definitely. And in these moments, this is calling us just to reflect maybe at the end of the day and be still and know
Yeah.
and allow. I know that's what that was teaching me. Oh, and maybe it's preparing you for something future down the road. You're having an experience. That experience in St. Thomas, in the Caribbean on an ocean walk, it was something that has prepared me for so many other experiences in life. And that's just like, okay, I'm thinking I need to do that over and over again because I got to keep remembering. And sometimes it's really great to journal all the lessons the universe has been speaking to you about and teaching you. Years ago, I was teaching in Holland, in southern Holland, in Hoogzeeland. I taught in a girls' high school, and while I was there, I had some time off, and I wanted to go to the beautiful city of Utrecht in northern Holland. And I was like, planning on this. I was so excited about this trip and everything all ready to go. And I had sent off some postcards. Mind you, these are the old days, postcards, when we were to my parents, letting them know, hey, yes, I'm going to be going up to Utrecht in this wonderful Dutch city. And, my mother being Dutch, all excited for me. And I just wanted to let her know all the exciting plans I was making. And I went to the train station and I was all packed up for the excursion. And something hit me and I saw a poster that said, Paris. I could be in Paris in 3 hours. Wow. Do I want to spend the weekend in Paris or Utrecht? I thought, wow, maybe I should go to Paris. And suddenly it was like, no, I'm going to go. No, and suddenly it was like everything was all about Paris. And I kept thinking, wow, well, you'd love to go and spend the weekend in Paris. This sounds I'll just change my plans. Well, lo and behold, what happened is that train that was going to Utrecht was taken over by terrorists. And South Moluccan terrorists held that train on the tracks to Utrecht, captive for 45 days. It was in the news. You can research it. It's back in the 70s. I hate to take myself back in that days, but I was young. Anyway, yes. And my parents thought, we got this. There's an American, and the news was saying there are Americans on this train, and they're being held captive for all these days, and they're looking for a Dutch SWAT team to come down and liberate these passengers from those who capture them. And so I had gone to Paris. I'm having a great time. My parents are receiving this message, and they're in fear. And suddenly I come back, and I'm listening to the news and go, oh, wait a minute. I need to let them know that I'm not on that train. So you see, there's all these wonderful experiences that can happen in our life that the Spirit is leading and guiding us for a particular reason. There may be roadblocks that come into your pathway as well, that you may have to consider and think about and say, what is this roadblock speaking to me about? How about if you're falling sick repeatedly, and the author talks about a story where she was contemplating a move and she was thinking about moving to another location, and she went there to check everything out. And when she got there, she was so sick. She was vomiting and throwing up, and she said, wait a minute, I'm so excited about meeting with a real estate agent to find a new house in this new city and everything going together. And she said, I just got to cancel everything and go home. And when she got home, she felt better instantly. And she felt a perfect peace about being at home. And she realized, wait a minute, I don't think I'm supposed to make this move. This is where I belong. So suddenly she felt better, and there was a healing within her body instantly, she felt like. So there can be a sign also from nature that drops on your pathway. And how about like my experience with those crows landing in my backyard, conveying a message? Dr. David Carter.
Would that be true for deer eating your plants as well?
Deer eating my plants. I don't think that's a message from the universe. No. Yeah, I know. Yeah, David Carter's teasing me about deer coming into my yard and eating all my flowers and all that kind of stuff. I was like, all right. So yes, there could be a wonderful lesson there to be learned that, you know what? In time, the plants did grow back and they are blooming again. So things that you may go through experience, know that there are new beginnings. Norma, your comment.
I was practically face to face with a praying mantis the other day. It was on the rear side view mirror of my car when I went to get in it. And that seems like that ought to mean something, but I have no clue what.
Well, That's where, again, you might think of what this might be a metaphor of, or what it might symbolize for your life, and what message it's trying to convey to you in your life, Right? Maybe, prayer for your car. Praying mantis. There we go. It could be that. Bless, but whatever it may be, or something bugging you. That needs to be released. I don't know, but you will know as you sit in silence and you begin to think, what might this symbolize for me in my life that I might be able to learn? So the universe is always sending you the signals and the signs, but the trick is to be open to receiving them and open to acknowledging. And I think that's why it's a powerful experience to do a little inventory of your day at the end and just say, what might have been speaking to me? What might have been a lesson that I could have learned today? Was it an experience I had? Was it an encounter? Was it just a key moment? Was there an aha moment that kind of wanted to reveal something to me? So it's about being open to those experiences. Now, there's a connection between you and the stars, and I hope we understand that. All the planets, all the world around us, the universe, we are connected with this. So when it comes to astrology, I want you to know that astrology is not a science, but the study of the relationship between life on Earth and life above, life in this universe. That's really what astrology is all about, a study of this relationship. Now, the energy pull of the planets is affecting the energy and our mood. We know that. How many of you are fully aware that the moon has an energy pull on our planet? Yes? Because we have the tides, right? So we understand that. So we certainly have a simple understanding of how the moon as a planetary thing out in the universe is already pulling on our planet and bringing about the tides. And that's affecting the water, and your body is so much, it's like some people, 70%, 90% water. Everybody has a different comment on that one. Whatever it may be, that the energy pull of the moon as it's pulling on the tides is also pulling on each and every one of us and affecting our mood. So it just goes into play of common sense that if the moon is doing this, what is Mars or Venus, or what's Uranus doing to you? Think about that one. It's pulling on you, Okay, because we are all part of this universe, all planets and stars, in a way, are part of us and therefore affect us. So we may look at this planetary pull. How many of you are familiar with the comments of Mercury is in retrograde? There's an energy pull during that time. And it's a good time to just be very careful with your making travel plans, because details can fall through the cracks. Things may not be as efficient as you would think they would normally be. So it's just calling us to double check everything and to just be a little bit more alert to the experiences of what we're going through and be focused on details during that time as Mercury goes into retrograde. So we understand that this astrological pull on our life is affecting our moods, our energies, and those things affect some of our decisions that we may make. Sometimes a full moon, you want to go a little crazy. Well, there's a little energy pulling on you, and you may, that inner werewolf is coming out or whatever, you want to howl, you want to be creative or whatever it may be in these cycles. Just know that that's also pulling on your energy. So watch for synchronicities between the planets, what they're doing, and what's going on in your life. As example, Mercury in retrograde, the cycles or phases of the moon. They're guiding, they're speaking to you. Now, what will you do with that information? Now, here's the thing. A lot of people think, astrology is future telling, and it's already, predestined for you? No. The horoscope or the astrological information is information. What you do with that information is yours, and your decisions and your responsibility. So it's just advising you that the planetary pull may be pulling in this way. What will you do with it? Do you like that? Do you want to go along with it? Do you want to address it? You know, if you understand these things, just know that that may be the energy in the field. So how might you work with that energy or to create divine flow? So as an example, just for the sense of this course, I looked at my horoscope today, and it said that there will be a lot of phone calls and disruptions that are coming to you that may pull you away from your work, but allow the work to be number one focus for you, and let the phone calls just, you know, take their course. There's going to be plenty of interruptions in your life, but just, you know, keep focused and keep pressing through. Well, 6 o'clock in the morning, the phone rings. 7 o'clock in the morning, the phone rings. 8:30, the phone rings. And it goes on and on. I'm like, okay, folks, I'm loving this and I appreciate the chance. Can I call you later became the ultimate statement for the day. Can I check in with you later? I've got to finish these notes. I've got a class to teach. I've got things going on. And I said, I love chatting with you. I'm glad you called. Thank you very much, but I'll check in with you later. Knowing this, knowing that that was going to be the course of the day, how do you work with that information? It's up to you. Now, I could acquiesce and say, oh, forget work and just forget it. I'll be late. Won't get the notes done. Let's talk on the phone for hours, you know. But we realize that there's going to be disruptions. So it's how do you work with the information that's been given you? So one of our things in this whole journey of our life of raising vibrations to a high level for health and wholeness may be that we need to take some time out to be in touch with nature. Whatever is happening in nature, let me tell you this, is being reflected back to you on an energetic level. Like fall. Fall is quite often a time that we look about the trees releasing their leaves and surrender. And we may also take this time to release and to surrender, to make some changes within our life. I know how many of you, you know, fall comes in and you begin to pack up all your black summer clothes and unpack all your black winter clothes because you're just wearing black all the time anyway, you know, but it's that kind of thing. You're making this change in your life and you're just making adjustments because you are seeing a seasonal change within your life and you're releasing some things of summer clothes to welcome and surrender to the new season. How about spring? How many of you feel like new energy in spring? I know I do. Rebirth, growth, all that kind of wonderful thing. To be out in nature and see azaleas blooming and the tulips coming up and all the flowers springing forth. Well, that's an example of some new moods that can come into our life as a result of nature. So nature is always sending you clues about energy and about the energy that's around you. And often it's going to guide you where you should be focusing your attention as you think about nature in the world around you. And let's take some time out for a little nature healing as well. You know, I think that was one of the wonderful things for Robert as he dealt with cancer. My partner, who struggled with cancer for so many years, found such healing and wholeness and strength through gardening. He loved being out in the yard. He loved his hands in the soil. He loved watering the plants and fertilizing. He loved caring for them. And it became our real mantra of our life as a couple that we really felt that the garden took care of us more than we took care of the garden. And I really do believe that nature takes care of us even more than we take care of nature. And we may think, oh, it's our duty to, you know, take care of our yard and our lawn and our flowers and all this stuff. But really, it's actually giving an opportunity for us to do some earthing. That's right, earthing. And earthing is to allow the energy of Mother Earth to travel through our body and to restore energy and vibration. And one of the things that you might do is take your shoes off, walk in the grass. Get some, you know, how many of you have been along the beach and it feels so good to get your toes in the sand, really? And allow those waves to lap up against on your ankles. It just feels so amazing to just stand there for a while and let that just energy flow and to feel yourself grounded in it. These are amazing earthing experiences. Dr. David Carter, your comment.
So you can't have that experience of grounding unless you're barefoot?
Well, I think there is a real contact with them. You know, even Moses had this experience of taking off his sandals, which was a beautiful metaphor of being grounded in the message that he received from the burning bush. And I think that's a really important essence, that we kind of remove any barriers of our life to be in 100% connection. So take those shoes off, walk barefoot a little bit if you can. I think it's a healing experience for you in the life. Walk out on your gravel road barefoot, or on hot coals or whatever. I'm just saying, get out maybe you got a wonderful fresh mown lawn, take your shoes off for a few minutes and just sit out there and just let yourself be grounded. Carla.
So grounding balances you energetically. Obviously, we have always talked about everything's energy, and our body is too. And so I do that regularly. And you need to have nothing artificial between you and the earth, like rubber soles and the plastic soles on our tennis shoes keep us separated from the earth. So if you have leather soles, or you can just sit, you don't even have to walk. If you just want to sit with your shoes on in some grass or something, I lay on the grass on a cotton sheet. But what I notice, and I do this almost every day for like about half an hour at dusk, or in the daylight to get the vitamin D if it's a weekend. But anyway, it gives me a lot of energy.
So I
Yes.
have dead cows on my feet and be grounded.
Dead cows, leather shoes, yes.
If you choose, yes.
Yes.
Or you can just take them off and have cotton socks. You can just have dead cotton on your feet.
Okay, so I can use cotton. Because I think in my mind,
As long as it's natural.
Yeah.
as long as it's natural, okay.
Nothing
You're fearful to take your socks and shoes off?
I think part of my issue with that is that I grew up, we were not allowed to take our shoes off
Oh.
outside. And so I think some of that is still stuck in me, even though I try to dismiss it. Because in my mind now, as I'm reading this and you're talking, I'm thinking, okay, so I'm going to take my shoes off outside on the freshly mowed lawn. And it's been mowed. But I'm thinking, there's chiggers probably, even though the people sprayed. Then my mind said, but dogs pee on the grass. And so you're going to stand in the grass and a dog
Put
will
a
pee
cotton
on it.
sheet down first.
Okay, yeah.
Put a cotton sheet down first. That's pretty
There you
I
go.
get it. Okay, it's just, yeah. Just
Yes, I mean, if we become a fear-based germophobic or insectophobic or whatever it may be, I mean, there's no place in the world that we're going to be free from, because the world is all around us. There's
the
germs.
natural stuff.
You're
Yes.
one
Natural.
with the chiggers. You're one with the grass.
Yes.
You're one with the earth, right? That's
Right.
what I do. Even bugs. I'm just
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm one with you. I'll leave you alone. You leave me alone.
Right. I even find, like, just touching some of my plants is a wonderful experience. You know what I mean? I walk through my garden with my cup of coffee, and I've got a little pathway, a stone pathway I love, and I can walk in a circle through there and do a little prayer walk, but I'll just reach out and touch them. I talk to them all the time. I play music for them as well, because I said I want to give back some wonderful vibrational frequency. So I play meditation music on my speakers out in my yard. My neighbor says, well, it's a loud music. It's really soft, but you got the volume up. I said, well, I want all my plants and the trees to hear. I want to make sure they're getting the vibration, the frequency, let them know that they're being loved. And just to touch them and let them love me and me love them, I think is such a grounding experience. So, yes.
And the same with the earth. You remember that God is in the earth just as God is in us. And so when I ground, I think I'm giving back to earth too. I'm sharing my energy, and the earth is sharing its energy, and it's all God.
Right. A good earthing picnic, put out that cotton sheet and enjoy some good food and just relax out on a picnic blanket, and it's wonderful. And your comment.
We learned about there's other ways to ground. That's a good individual way to recharge and balance. But we learned in energy school, for example, after a healing session, you do need to ground, and you need to ground your patient or your client also. And you can command it in your mind. You can't, you don't have to say ground, I believe that it does balance, which is one of the main reasons to ground, is to balance your energy and open you up too. So there's other ways to do it, and the sun is very good. The sun for you I agree with.
Isn't it wonderful to think about all these things that the universe has created for our good? Sunlight, dirt, grass, nature, birds, trees, air, ocean. On goes the list of all created for nurturing and caring for us and helping us with our energy.
Intention is part of that too.
Intention, yes. So now this is the key. There is enough in the universe for everyone. So as we're looking at this vibrational frequency of our life, we want to make sure that we're keeping it high. And one of these wonderful thoughts that keeps it elevated is that there's enough. Because what happens to bring us down so much is that there's not enough money, there's not enough love, there's not enough time, there's not enough patience. We could go on and on and on, feeling and there's not enough of in the listings. But we want to understand that there is plenty and there's enough for everyone. I have to remind people that this universe has been around for, let's just say, a gazillion times a gazillion, I don't know. It's always been here, okay? And it's always sustained itself. How? Because it's been working in harmony. That's how it sustains itself. And there is a plenty in our world today. As long as we're working in harmony, it will always manifest for us. So when we're working in harmony, and that means in oneness with God, there's going to be an abundance. There'll always be enough. And certainly, when we're working in harmony and oneness with one another, there will always be enough. It's the only reason that we create any kind of lack in any shape or form in this world is when we're not working in a sense of oneness with others. When we hold back and we restrict and say, I got mine, you better get yours on your own, or we think in some way that we can't share or we can't are unwilling to share in some way with others in any shape or form. So we move out of that oneness. We say, I'm separate from you. But when we're in this oneness and harmony, there is a flow that happens in life that enables us to experience this wonderful truth that there is enough and there's no such thing as lack. So begin to embrace abundant thinking, and you will be aware of how life is already unfolding in your favor. When you begin to count your blessings, that old hymn, count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, see what God has done. When you think about that wonderful hymn, well, it's just simply calling us to do just this. Begin to take some time out. The more you count your blessings, the more you see what God has done, the more you open yourself up to this consciousness of abundance that's already there. And when you're in this kind of consciousness, solutions begin to appear for you. They're going to appear right before you because you've already counted the wonderful ways that God has already provided for you. So in that thinking and in that gratitude, solutions are going to be starting unfolding for you. That God is abundant, and God's abundance is always there for us. So I want to encourage you, don't limit yourself energetically. When you view life through this narrow window, you limit creative ability and your ability to receive energy. So often we are limiting ourselves from the divine energy that wants to flow and empower us, uplift us, strengthen us in so many ways. So here's some steps that are outlined in your note packet. Number one, get ready and be willing for this energetic flow, this love power we talked about in the opening of our class that's there for us to fill us up completely. Take that energy inside you and match it up with the energy of that which you want to create outside of you. So you're receiving this divine energy of abundance. Match it up then in a consciousness of abundance with that which you want to create within your life. Receive this healing energy within you and match it up in consciousness with the desire that says, I am whole and I am healed and I am well. So we want to just do this matchup, connect the dots. Let's bring it together. That which we feel, this energy rising within us, let it match with how we live it out in our life. Now, money is a perfect example because let me tell you this, money is just simply energy. That's all it is. Isn't it amazing when you stop to think, you got this piece of paper and you can buy things with a piece of paper? Really, it's just a piece of paper. It's got some ink on it, got a little pretty picture, a few little words and numbers on it. We hope lots of big numbers and the money that you may have, but it's just paper. Yet it's an energy force that enables you to buy and sell and do so many wonderful things. And it's just an energy. So if you want to receive energy, be open to it and live in this expectancy that energy is coming in and energy is going, because everything is energy. Okay. So when we understand that, Why are we so uptight about, I only have so many dollar bills, or I only have so many $100 bills, or whatever it may be. I only have so many pieces of paper in my accounting. But it's energy. It's going to come and flow. It'll flow in, it'll flow out. The fastest way to bring more wonderful examples of abundance into your personal experience is to take constant notice of the wonderful things that are already here. That's a quote from Esther Hicks. And I think that's just a beautiful thought. What's already here? Wow, we're just immensely blessed. Immensely blessed. And when we're in the midst of the blessing, and opportunities just begin to unfold in solutions. So this past week, we have this beautiful facility here, this wonderful spiritual center, 3 floors and lots of square footage to share and to give away and to invite others to use. And when you just sit in gratitude of what's been given to you, it's amazing. Yet there's moments when you're like, oh, during this COVID-19, there's not a lot of activity. There's not a lot of people as collaborative partners joining us in this spiritual work. There's some empty spaces, and you can focus on all the lack, the empty spaces, or you can walk through the building and go, wow. Look at the blessings that are here, the square footage that's available. We're so blessed within this mindset that everything is coming together because the blessings are already here. And if we've manifested this, what else can we manifest? Because it's energy and it's coming and flowing in and out. Great. And lo and behold, we get some phone calls from people saying, we're going to be meeting with you on Tuesday to secure some space in your building. And we are a church that would like to host Sunday night services in your building. And you just began, oh, wow, we're just excited about the multiple ways that as we walk in the consciousness that it's already here, we've been blessed and abundant right here and now, more abundance comes to us because we're grateful for what we have. So pay attention to the abundance around you. And maybe it's a good thing that you do a little exercise by identifying 5 blessings in every single day. Wow, another great exercise. There's all these wonderful spiritual practices that are blessings have I received today? What blessings have I that are mine that I can just celebrate with great gratitude? So the big question is, what's your vibrational frequency today? What's your vibrational level? Will you attract to yourself the things that you hold in mind and in feeling? Yes, you will. But what are they? What are you holding in mind? And what is your feeling about them? No matter how hard you think about what you want, you can only attract things that align with that vibration that you set. I'm looking for financial blessing, but I'm living in lack and it's not going to be there. There's not a vibrational frequency match. Raise that vibrational frequency match, and then it comes into perfect alignment. When you raise it with this sense of, I am living in abundance, I am blessed, I am grateful for all that I have enough that I can share with others, I can be generous with this because I know more energy, more money, which is energy, is coming to me. More prosperity is coming to me. So we want to raise that level, and we're going to just attract it to us. Likes attract likes. So make sure your vibrational level is to the level that matches the desire of what you want. So are you ready? Let's get set. Let's raise our vibration. Let's do this to the level that is manifesting the desires of our heart. Amen. Thank you for joining us today for our class here at the Emerson Institute. I'm glad that you're with us today through our live streaming and through our YouTube channel, as well as our students who are here. So we'd love to hear what your takeaway is. What spoke to you today? So I'm going to ask just a few of our students to share a little bit of what spoke to you today. And for those of you who are joining us, if you're joining us live, we'd love to hear from you as well. So take a moment to type in a sentence or two that this really spoke to me. This is my takeaway from today's class session. All right, let's go with Dr. David Carter. What's your takeaway from today's session today?
Always trust the universe to give you the very best outcome. So when I am affirming or claiming something, at the end I always say I'm comforted by the fact that I know that the best possible outcome will be granted to me by the universe, and I trust that.
Yes. Amen. The best outcome is mine. Yes, whatever that may be. Steve, what's your takeaway from today's class?
It's not my job to save people. Just be a loving presence that listens. It's something I know, but something that needs to be reminded constantly.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy when someone has a problem to say, "Oh, do this,"
Right.
solve it this way. And it's like maybe they're not looking for an answer right now. Maybe they just, just let me unload. Let me just get it out of my system, and
Right.
like, okay, be a presence, create an opening there, let it happen.
Exactly. Beautiful. I think if we all could learn that, when someone has a problem, we want to say, I've got all the answers for you. And they're not even ready to hear the answers. So I love this. Just be a presence. Be love. Good. Let's go to Brenda. What's your takeaway from today's class session?
I love the fact that we can always turn it over to the universe.
Yeah.
If we don't know an answer, if we start getting upset over something, just turn it over to the universe, because the universe is through us, through God, through everything, and knows how to solve it.
Good. Carla, how about you?
That it's about intention and be clear with my intentions.
Beautiful. Anybody else? How about Anne? Would you like to share?
Well, I missed part of it, but I love this. All things are happening in perfect order, and this worked beautifully yesterday. My son-in-law got some burns. Heather spent all the day on the phone trying to get appointments at the doctor, and nobody would take them, and she was on wait, and it just worked out that in perfect order, she finally made touch with the burn unit at Grady, and they're taking him tomorrow. And, I had said all along to her, this is happening for a reason, and and I believe that's the best option that could have come out of the whole thing. So, it's good to repeat that.
Good. Norma?
I like the tips that you gave us. The trusting the universe, and then get ready to watch for the soft and subtle or in your face signs. All of those, as well as the idea of saving people as steps.
Right. Excellent. Thank you. Yes, Dr. David
I was
Carter?
going to say at the top of page 3, it talks about wait. Now, are you clear with your intention? I found out that as I script, I get more and more clarity about what my intentions are.
Yes. And clarity constantly, the law of opposites is at work within our life, helping us on the journey of getting clarity. So sometimes we're experiencing a lot of things in our life that we realize I don't want, but that helps you get more. So even though you may be experiencing something that you're not really wanting in your life, it's there as a tool to help you be even more clear or get clarity around what it is you do want. So just know that scripting is a wonderful thing, constantly working through to get rid of that vagueness in our feelings and our intentions. Anyone else have a comment? All right.
In regards to praying mantises, don't they look like they're from Mars? But you know what? Praying mantises stare at you. They really do. And it's the perfect mirror, if you're in touch spiritually, to say, I wonder what the praying mantis is thinking, staring at me like it is. And get in touch with your own thoughts, your own feelings, and your own subconscious.
I love that illustration as well of what that could mean. Let's just be open to signs and wonderful messages. Well, thank you so much for joining us today in our class. We appreciate it so much. And if you've enjoyed this class and have just a desire to support the incredible work of the Emerson Institute, we would appreciate your donations. You can go to our website at www.cityoflightatlanta.com and there offer your gifts. There's a donate button. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for sharing with us today, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week as we continue our study of the power of positive energy.